Thank you, Matt. So actually, I'm going to give you a Wi-Fi break. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about history. This is the Shaw Theater. So usually when I go to places, I like to understand where I am on the planet. And 40 years ago, Queen was here rehearsing for the Live Aid concert that they did in Wembley Stadium. Shaw is George Bernard Shaw. I don't know if you know him. He's an Irish writer, and he very witty guy. So there's a quote that I knew when I was young, and the quote, not that I'm old now, but the quote said, "Youth is wasted on the young." So very witty guy. He said that the single biggest problem of communication is the illusion that it has taken place. So very, very witty guy, very smart guy. So good, now a little bit of history. Let's go back to Wi-Fi, the boring stuff. All right. So why is Akahau and Wi-Fi so important? I'm gonna remove you from the frequencies and all of that for a few seconds and tell you that actually it is important because it's today part of every essential thing that we do. Like water, like electricity, internet is becoming a necessity in our daily life for work, for pleasure, for communication, for everything. So it is, becoming not commoditized, but the importance is getting higher. And obviously, it is important to build it well. It is important to make sure it is effective and performing. And not only performing in terms of, let's say, ability, speed, but also performing in terms of a business. It's huge. The devices, the access points, everything related to the business of Wi-Fi today is $4.9 trillion. Obviously, it encompasses, we're generalizing, so a phone is not only Wi-Fi, but if you calculate the value of what it is, of what communication is, it's a huge business. You cannot imagine how important it is. And the impact of it, we saw it, you heard probably this 50 times, but you saw it when we had the COVID thing. So communication was so essential. It was so critical to have the right, let's say, connection at home, because everybody actually moved and started working from home. So it became like otherwise society would have frozen. Thank God there was some kind of infrastructure there. So education, community growth, healthcare access, career, the impact is wonderful. The impact is amazing on social life, on society in general. So some studies were made, and obviously the studies were related more to understanding if communication, how important is communication in general. And today we still see that there is 3.6 billion people, almost half of the world population, that don't have access to internet. So, I'm saying this just to tell you that we are, even with what we see today here, globally, it is not the same. So part of my role, I cover the African continent as well for Ookla. And the connectivity levels over there are very, very, very low. So it's you hear about SpaceX and the satellites and how they're bringing connectivity to certain regions. The end means of providing this connectivity is Wi-Fi. So the importance of Wi-Fi, looking at the future as well, is amazing. We are not saturated as an industry. There is still so much to do. So if we look at Ookla, so a little introduction now on myself. So my name is Chafic Traboulsi, and I'm managing the business for Ookla in Middle East and Africa. So Ookla is, let's say, the overall company that owns Ekahau. They also own a speed test. They also own root metrics. Some of you might have heard of that, especially here in the UK. And they own also down detector. Down detector also you might have heard of it. So basically, why is Ekahau and Wi-Fi, how does it fit in the big Ookla picture? So we think that measuring and understanding is key to improving, the experience. Ekahau obviously is a Wi-Fi measurement, and it fits really into the core of what we do. Now, it's a little bit more than that, and you will see. So the data, so we are sitting, I always say to my colleagues, we are sitting on a gold mine in the company because we have so much data. Speed test, it's consumer generated, so every time you do a speed test, we are actually taking that data and then basically analyzing it, getting some insight. So this is very high level insight here. So we're, for example, showing that the UK with 135.7 megabit per second is ranked 42 globally in terms of average speed between the countries. So this is one insight. Does it mean anything? Not much in reality, but at least you know the level of infrastructure that the country has, but nothing more. So we take that data, we bring an insight, but the data has much more insight. Actually, this is what we publish on our website. So we take that data as a company and we sell it. Now, you can imagine that we also have data coming from Ekahau. We also have data coming from what we call embedded SDKs that are on routers. We have data, we have so much data. Actually, we have so much data, we don't even know what to do with it. Like, I'm serious. We have so much data. Not only we don't know what to do with it, we have some data sitting on servers we don't even have the time to go look and see if there's any insight in it. But the dream of the company is to basically put all of that together, all the data that we are getting, and then provide insights that are, fantastic. I'm going to give you a few examples of what we do. So, for example, we went here and we did a study that was done in the Middle East and North Africa. So we looked at the Wi-Fi performance in the luxury hotels in the Middle East and Africa. So we looked at different countries, and then we saw that the Four Seasons in Riyadh is at 154 megabit per second, number one. And then the worst one was in Muscat, the JW Marriott at 10.2 megabit per second. So this is data from speed test and crowdsourced, okay? Now we try to give you a little bit more insight. So just to understand, without doing a survey with an Ekahau kit, you can already have some kind of insight coming to you. So for example, we looked at the top performing hotels, the good performing and the performing laggards, and then we looked at the spread between Wi-Fi 4, 5, and 6. And obviously, okay, the top performing had more Wi-Fi 6 than the others. The worst performing had more Wi-Fi 4 and much less Wi-Fi 6, etc. So you can, and this information on the access point and the type of technology is included in the data. So once you do a test, we actually are checking what kind of frequency you're using, what kind of band you are on, et cetera, et cetera. We can also, as you can see, look at the frequency, and there, it matches, but in the frequency language rather than the Wi-Fi 456. You can see on top, okay? So that's one use case. Another use case that the data can give you, we were on I wasn't on the cruise ship, but somebody was on a cruise ship. Okay. And then we tried to understand basically the performance of the Wi-Fi on the cruise ship. It wasn't good. Okay, so we took the data and we tried to analyze it to try to see what is going on with that. And here, obviously, with both Ekahau and speed test, we managed to understand that there are, channel bonding issues. The way the network was designed was not optimal on 2.4. They weren't doing a good job. So basically, it gave us, the insight to fix the Wi-Fi on that, big cruise ship. There's another use case that is not here that one of our colleagues did. So he actually went and he spent actually a week on. I don't know if you know him. His name is Stu. So he went on the cruise ship and he spent a few days. There was a big metallic structure on the cruise ship and it was giving a lot of interference. So he actually there was a leak of a generator on the metallic structure. So first they thought that the problem was from the metallic structure, but then it wasn't. It was actually from the generator. So they went and they isolated the generator and they fixed the problem. And all of that was done, with Ekahau basically. So a lot of stuff that we can do. So yes, we want to take that data. We want to find new ways to use it, and this is what the company will be doing, in the next few years. Putting all that data together and providing the best insight for the best performance. And today, I'm not going to add to that, but you saw, the presentation that Matt has done, and you saw the initial integration that we have done with the speed test and some use cases for it. So it works better together. So thank you very much.